Hello, my name is Amber Merkusik and welcome to my presentation. Today I will be giving you a very interesting presentation. I present to you whale versus whale, with a heavy emphasis on the quotation marks. The purpose of the presentation is to simply provide you with information about two opposite species and their social systems. We are focusing on the humpback whale, as seen on the left, and the transient killer whale, which is seen on the right. Starting off with the biggest and the boldest, the humpback whale, which is part of the baleen whales. They are called baleen because of their, quote, teeth, which are made up of keratin that helps the humpbacks to filter and trap their preferred prey, which is usually schooling fish, specifically herring, mackerel, and sand lice. They are found in all oceans of the world. During the summer months, they can be found in temperate waters, close to coastlines and continental shelves, and in the winter months they are found in tropical waters around island coastlines or offshore reef systems. To dig deeper into gender roles of this whale species, I will start off by mentioning that female humpbacks are usually 1 to 1.5 meters longer than males. This is believed to be because of the demand that comes with reproduction. Males are believed to be smaller because when they are in competition, the smaller the size means better maneuverability. In regards to migration, males begin the migration away from the feeding grounds first, followed by immature whales, mature males, non-breeding females, and lastly the pregnant mothers-to-be. Mating and calving within this species happens during the winter months. Tropical waters are preferred because of the higher amount of shelter for mothers and their young. Caring for the future adults of this species is very important. The gestation period for humpback whales is between 11 to 12 months. Only a couple weeks after birth, humpback whale calves have been observed migrating to feeding grounds with their mothers already. These calves feed on their mother's milk for almost up to a year, or when they reach about 30 feet long. They have been observed switching off between their mother's milk and solid food during this time period as well. Because of this, calves have been seen independently feeding at just 6 months of age, but will still continue to nurse. They stay with their mothers until their second winter, then they are all on their own. This species group is defined as two or more individuals swimming side by side about their body length apart. Large groups of humpbacks are only seen while feeding. They tend to stay away from large groups because of the increase of competition over food resources. In groups where there is a calf, the group might only contain the calf of their mother. Occasionally, a male escort is accompanying the mother and the baby for security reasons. These whales are the most social when it comes to breeding rather than feeding. This is because they continuously attempt to breed even while they're migrating. In regards to vocal behaviors, male humpbacks are the only ones who sing, and these songs vary by area, similarly to how humans have different accents in different areas across the globe. Now moving on to the second species, or quote whale, as I previously mentioned, the orca, also known as the killer whale. For the purpose of the presentation, I'm going to focus on transient killer whales. This species is found in all oceans, similarly to the humpback whales. They are most common in coastal and temperate waters. They are primarily found in areas that have a lot of marine activity, mainly because of their wide prey species. They feed on primarily marine mammals ranging from baleen whales to seals and multiple types of fish. Male orcas are vital to their pods. They tend to stay with their natal pods in order to assist with the care of calves, defense is needed, as well as helping to locate and capture prey. Females may also stay with their natal groups, but this is less common because of the need to reproduce. Breeding happens between groups and not within, which is why females tend to leave. Mothers are helpful when it comes to finding mates for their sons. Female killer whales also tend to breed every 5 years because of their strict parenting procedures. Killer whales have a gestation period of up to 18 months. The calves nurse on their mother's milk for up to 2 years, and then they learn to hunt on their own from their mothers. As previously mentioned, male orcas usually stay with their mothers for life, but if they do decide to leave, they leave once they reach sexual maturity, and when they reach their mid-teens to 20s, they live in solidarity but occasionally associate with other pods for random periods of time. Females rarely stay with their mothers, but it has been seen. They usually always leave their mothers at sexual maturity and associate with other pods. When they reach their late teens and early 20s, they either build their own pod or may even return to their mother to reproduce within her pod. Since the pod size of this species is large, it assists with allomaternal childcare, meaning any member of the group can help in raising the calves. Now on to group structure and relationships for the transient killer whales. Their pods are usually led by the females. As previously mentioned, this is because females tend to leave their natal pods more than males. The species is usually in pods of 3 or more individuals. The larger group size helps with higher social behaviors, more opportunities for mating, as previously mentioned, allomaternal childcare, as well as the opportunity to learn mating and courtship skills. The largest advantage of the species is in regards to their feeding. It is common for orcas to hunt in groups. They have been observed grouping their prey and using tail slaps to stun their prey. In the Arctic regions, orcas are known to scare seals off icebergs to other members of their pod waiting beneath the ocean surface. Now, the purpose of the presentation was to dive into the specifics of what makes each of these species successful when it comes to their behaviors and the way they work within their groups. In my personal opinion, it's hard to decide if a larger or smaller group size is more beneficial than the other. I listed pros and cons of each group size. Under pros of large groups, I have that they develop higher social skills and there are more opportunities for successful hunting with the assistance of other members. Cons of large group include more competition for mating and food, as well as the fact that there isn't much bonding between a mother and their calves because of the interaction of other individuals in larger groups. In regards to small groups, there is more opportunity for calf bonding with their mothers, and there is less competition for food resources when they are located. Cons of small groups include less social skills among similar species as well as mates not being easily accessible. I suppose the importance of size depends on the species. For example, killer whales are apex predators, and being in large groups makes a significant difference in how they communicate, especially when it comes to feeding. On the other hand, humpback whales do perfectly fine by themselves, considering the females are larger than males, so when defense is needed against males, the female usually does just fine. I appreciate you listening to my presentation. I hope you learned something new and interesting today. Thanks.